activity. Threat is neutralized.
Bed no pen.
Protect the bio container. Op 4 last stop standing. Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at my AR-15 chambered in 50 Beowulf. It's based off the AR-15 50 from Rainbow Six Siege, used by the operator Maverick. So I'll start at the stock and I'll work my way up to the muzzle, and I'll tell you about the components and why I chose them and any alternatives if applicable. So off we go. The stock is from Fab Defense. It's a GL Shock recoil reducing stock. It's a nice stock. It's a bit pricier than normal one. Like, you can get a CTR stock for half the price. But overall, I do like the stock. It's nice and tight, not much rattle, and that rubber on the back is kind of nice. Whether or not it's truly recoil reducing, I'm skeptical of, but it's a good stock. Moving on up, we've got the receiver extension, buffer tube, whatever you would like to call it. This is just a standard UTG aluminum buffer tube, standard power spring, standard weight buffer. 50 Beowulf was designed to work with as many standard AR components as possible, so I saw no reason to get a heavier buffer or a lighter buffer or a stiffer spring. So far, function has been perfect in it. Now, granted, that's on a standard range day. You know, I'm not taking it through the mud or through a carbine class or anything. Moving on down, the lower receiver, is from Aero Precision. I think it's their M4E1. I got it for a pretty good deal. Very nice receiver. I like the pictorial safe and fire as opposed to it being written safe and fire. The lower parts kit comes from Anderson. I've built a couple rifles with Anderson lower parts kits. Haven't had any issues. The pistol grip. Now this is where there's a point of deviation from the in-game model. In-game, he has a tan A2 pistol grip, so just like this, but tan. Unfortunately for me, I haven't been able to find just a tan A2 grip, so for the time being, I'm just running a black one. Maybe I'll pull this off and spray paint it, or maybe someone will get one in stock. But the only way I've been able to see them purchased is through a lower parts kit, like from Palmetto. And I'm not going to spend that money just to have a lower parts kit just for the tan grip. Moving on up. We got the Fab Defense Magwell grip. This is actually a really nice grip. When I first purchased it, I was skeptical of it. I was like, it's going to be extra weight. The finger grooves are kind of silly. But it feels nice in the hand, and by far the best benefit is when you're inserting magazines. It does act as a very good magwell. So, nice little piece of plastic you put on there, and helps make mag inserts easier. Can't really complain. Moving on up, the upper receiver is from Alexander Arms. I purchased it through JSE Surplus. I went with the threaded barrel, but we'll get back to that later. Iron sights are from, they're just standard carry handle and a UTG front sight post. When he runs iron sights, this is what closely models the aesthetic. I'm sure he has a better sight post than UTG, but for a plinking rifle, it's been just fine. Alright, that brings us to the forearm. Now, in-game, he has a Fab Defense FGR3, which anyone that plays the games will know what it looks like. It has like kind of a swell back here, and then a Picatinny rail, and then up at the 3 and the 9 o'clock position at the end are smaller rails for lights and lasers and all that. Now, I looked for one and I found one, but it was in the wrong length. I've only seen them offered in carbine length, and this is a mid-length handguard that Alexander Arms uses on the entry upper. So the difference is that a carbine length rail, or handguard, is 5.5 inches, whereas the mid-length, like this, is 8 1/4. And then there's the rifle length, which is 12 inches. That's what you see on M16s and other 20-inch barrel ARs. So if anyone knows if they made a mid-length FGR3, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to run this. Maybe if I want to put a foregrip on it, which seems kind of redundant because of the magwell grip, I'll just run a rail and then get a foregrip. But in the meantime, I like the look of ribbed handguards. I like, that classic 80s aesthetic. Alright. Moving on up, we got the threaded barrel. Now this won't be a standard half by 28 inch, or not half by 28 inch, half by 28 thread pitch. This will be, I think it's 49/64 or something proprietary like that for obvious reasons. It's a 1/2 inch diameter bullet, more or less. So, in-game, if you don't have a muzzle brake on or a silencer, it's a standard birdcage flash hider, which I believe Umlaut Industries did make at one point. I haven't been successful in finding one. Otherwise, he runs a Alexander Arms tank muzzle brake, which is probably what I'm going to get once I pony up the over $100 for one. Or he runs a silencer, and I'm not going to deal with the NFA for that. As cool as it would be, a $200 tax stamp and then more for the suppressor itself. Not worth my time. Alright, coming back for the last detail and more of a talking point. The magazine, right now, I've just got in a standard aluminum Stanag. A nice tan follower and all that. And I got a tan Magpul Ranger plate on the bottom. Now, that's how it's shown in the game now. Originally, the in-game model was a Surefire quad stack, but that wouldn't work for a couple reasons. First off, the Surefire flares out from a double stack to a quad stack right around here, which is right around where it starts interfering with the MWG. And if you rotated the gun in game, you could actually see parts where the mag was clipping through the rendering. So beginning of year 4, they changed it to just a standard aluminum mag, which is fine and all, but Alexander Arms recommends using steel magazines. They don't recommend polymer mags like a P mag or aluminum GI mags. So this is one of the mags they recommend. This is from Elander. More or less it's a standard 30 round GI mag, but steel. But the floor plate's reinforced. You can see it's a lot beefier, and the follower is a little bit different to help you get that geometry. But in my experience, using standard 30 round mags just for range and all that, I wouldn't keep them loaded for a long period of time. They'll probably bend the lips. Steel certainly has better load bearing capabilities than aluminum, pound for pound. But just for at the range, I found aluminum polymer mags work fine. So, that's more or less the rifle. Here's the cartridge for those that haven't seen it in real life. Compared to a 223, which is 55 grains at 3,200 feet per second from a 20-inch barrel, this is 355 grains, which is 6 times the mass, and at about 1,770 feet per second from this 16-inch barrel, which puts it at about 60% of the velocity. So if you do some quick napkin engineering, you'll get about 3.6 times more momentum, which directly correlates to 3.6 times more recoil. But that's all the fun of big bore. You know, you like having your shoulder thumped. It's a fun time. So thanks for watching. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, want to tell me I'm stupid, go ahead and drop it below. Thanks for your time.